What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Okay, yesterday I decided to take a little break because I just needed one, It's been really hectic recently, and there wasn't a lot happening yesterday. But something did happen today that I want to talk about, and it gets really tricky when we're gonna talk about the gentleman that I will discuss today, because the person we're talking about today is Lue Elizondo, who was at the center of the Age of Disclosure documentary. He was one of the narrators alongside Jay Stratton. After the film, I found it really curious that Jeremy Corbell said that Grush thinks that if Lou is part of the legacy UFO program, he should just say it.
I do think that he has a difference of opinion, and that's for him to talk about. When it comes to this stuff, he really thinks everybody should just open up and say what they know. For example, he thinks that if Lue Elizondo was part of the legacy UFO program, that he should just say it, go out on the limb and just say it. And so I think that's the difference of opinion. I think the film would have had Dave participate if Dave had agreed, but I think that he's just on a different path. Am I explaining that clearly?
This has been the talk for at least the last month. It's gotten more intensified. Like, people are already openly saying that they think Lou is part of the legacy program, and a lot of people within the Age of Disclosure documentary as well. I've spoken about this a little bit, but as you guys can see, there is an effort going on that I've been reporting on for a while. The information that I have is that, yeah, there are constantly information drops on President Donald Trump's desk. I did not know about this letter that Lou Elizondo sent him back in January. I know about different type of information and data that is constantly dropped at President Donald Trump's desk. But I guess Lou's is one of the many who are trying to get President Donald Trump's approval or attention. They're still very optimistic. I don't think there's high hope for that to happen. I'm just reporting on what's happening. By the way, I know that there are people who've sent me even emails who are not happy with me covering what's happening with Donald Trump. And I've tried to make it very clear that I always try to cover what I think is like important to cover. If it's something that has to do with a different opinion than yours, if you don't want to see the video, that's cool. I mean, but I'm not gonna like try to prevent myself from reporting on stuff, especially when it comes to the main players, because I'm obviously not gonna do like some obscure case that everybody wants to cover if it doesn't have like somebody who's gonna be either beneficial or detrimental to this entire thing, to what we're trying to do here. And I think whether we like him or not, President Donald Trump is a key player in all of this, and I think that people need to report on what he's doing. He's the man in power right now. It would be stupid to ignore, especially when it comes to UFOs. If any of that is happening, I'm interested to see who's talking to him, who's telling him to do what. And I get that he's a divisive figure. I get that at least half of people don't believe him. And I get it. I understand the gut reaction he has in people. I understand that too. I'm just reporting on what's happening. That's it. I don't support any politician. I don't support any ideology like that. I'm just trying to, focus on what's happening, the news. So, having said that, I want to read to you first the memo that Lue Elizondo sent to President Donald Trump, and then I have a little clip of Ross talking to Lou about this and what could be the consequences of this. So here's the memo, which is going to be the first thing we cover here. It says, Mr. President, congratulations on your historic re-election. As you prepare for your second term, I would like to highlight one of the most pressing challenges to American and global security: emerging all-domain technologies, EADT. EADT include unmanned aerial system, UAS, also known as drones, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP, formerly known as UFOs, and certain other advanced systems operating across the air, space, and sea domains that are capable of intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, and kinetic strikes. Recent events like drone incursions in New Jersey and the Chinese spy balloon incidents underscored a critical gap. The US woefully lacks a whole of government solution to EADT. To solve this problem politically and get the policy right, I respectfully recommend that you improve the White House Senior Advisor, or SAR, within the National Security Council to one, coordinate the US government's EADT response, two, formulate policy, three, and conduct domestic and international outreach. As your transition team will undoubtedly be providing you briefing materials on these topics, my insights draw from my leadership in the Department of Defense, DoD, UAP investigation, and my experience addressing EADT as a senior counterintelligence officer in the DoD and the intelligence community. The EADT challenge. EADT represent a paradigm shift. They combine advanced and, in some cases, beyond next generation capabilities in stealth, loiter, maneuverability, and speed. These technologies not only herald a revolution in military and intelligence capabilities, but also enable rogue actors to wreak untold havoc. UAP technology, in particular, could fundamentally alter geopolitics and our understanding of physics. A. Drones. The Ukrainian conflict has witnessed rapid advancements in UAS, revolutionizing warfare and unlocking asymmetrical advantages that have upended traditional combat. China and other countries are taking note. At home, US frequently violate restricted military and civilian airspace, operating across spectrums either unintegrated or wholly unmonitored by our data collection systems. At the federal level, the US military and alphabet soup of agencies have responded haphazardly to UAS. Meanwhile, state, federal, local, and tribal authorities are left in the dark. The proliferation of advanced UAS technology to rogue states and non state actors portends a gray area of future conflict having consequences farther reaching than cyber warfare. In the wrong hands, UAs can surveil and disrupt sensitive US installations and critical infrastructure, disrupt aviation, harass citizens, transport illegal drugs, and facilitate human trafficking. More than 20 years after terrorists flew commercial aircraft into commercial buildings, the US government still has no remedy to UAS despite the IC's overhaul to prevent such a catastrophe from recurring. The American people are livid over the chaos that the cover ups wrought by the Biden administration. B. UAP. UAP are even more perplexing, possessing capabilities that defy our conventional knowledge. The intentions behind them also remain dimly understood. Mastery of UAP technology would, however, eclipse yesteryear's splitting of the atom. Today's transformations in semiconductors and tomorrow's breakthroughs in fusion and artificial intelligence all at once. But while the US stigmatizes even discussing UAP, America's enemies are racing to unlock their technology and gain a decisive edge. Consequently, UAP can no longer be distinguished entirely from UAS and other EADT, hobbling our domain awareness and response. The presence of UAP and UAS around US nuclear facilities is especially disturbing, jeopardizing our strategic deterrent and international stability. Although Congress created the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office within the DoD to analyze UAP, the office remains hopelessly mired in bureaucracy, overly siloed, and unable to achieve its mission. The Biden administration's doubling down on the decades long obfuscation of the UAP matter has similarly eroded the public's trust. C. Failure's steep price. The cumulative result of these failures includes 1. on focused research and development. Two, on competitive technological progress compared to Russia and China due to the over compartmentalization of classified projects. Three, a chaotic response to EADT incursions. Four, a reactive or non existent US EADT diplomacy, industrial base, doctrine, and force posture. And five, a citizenry rightfully suspicious of the deep state. Three, solving the problem. EADT represent a rapidly shifting, cross-cutting challenge that demands sustained attention at the highest level. There are, however, several immediate initiatives and policy opinions that are available for considerations. Foremost among these is the creation of a senior advisor to the president of emerging all domain technologies. At a high level, this SAR would one, coordinate a whole of government response to EADT, two, develop national EADT policy, and three, serve as the principal advisor to the president and engage with Congress, the media, and the American people on these important issues. Alternatively, you could consider tasking an existing DoD or IC official with the added responsibility of addressing EADT, but there may be disadvantages, such as dual hatting may distract that official from existing priorities and lead to mission creep. Depending on the official's seniority, they may lack both the gravitas to engage other elements and the necessary access to the president. Four, responsibilities of the EADT SAR. As established by a national security presidential memorandum and other appropriate executive action, the senior advisor for EADT would coordinate the federal, state, local, and tribal response to EADT at home and overseas, e.g., U.S. military facilities, embassies, nuclear plants, and other critical infrastructure. Specific coordination duties world include integrating domain-specific collection capabilities and improving tipping and queuing procedures to help establish a common operating picture of U.S. airspace and other domains, optimizing DoD and IC acquisition to bring needed EADT capabilities quickly to bear, streamlining federal, state, local, and tribal reporting of EADT information through the Department of Homeland Security's fusion centers, leveraging U.S. Space Force and U.S. Space Command to ensure national level collection requirements are recognized and fulfilled, lead EADT discussions with the National Security Council and Cabinet, formulate the annual national EADT strategy to serve as a blueprint for advancing America's interests in UAS, UAP, and other EADT domestically and internationally. The strategy would identify global trends constituting threats or opportunities, delineate priorities and reforms, and guide academic and private sector institutions to shape and respond to a rapidly changing EADT reality. At the President's direction, guide a National Intelligence Estimate or EADT, including UAP. Develop other national policies that analyze EADT's potential impact on national security, economic conditions, the nation's research priorities, and foreign policy. Provide assessments to the President, Congress, and relevant agencies. Access all UAP related classified information. Advise the President on the declassification of UAP related records. And spearhead responsible UAP transparency. Enforce a 25 years mandatory declassification of all UAP information other than as exempted by the President case by case. Recommend statutory and other authorities to enable the U.S. government to protect the homeland and conduct other EADT investigations and operations. Accelerate research and advance propulsion and technologies by engaging the academic and scientific communities as well as the private sector. Number five, conclusion. As the evolution in EADT accelerates, challenges are inevitable and looming. The U.S. government must therefore be proactive while the strategic terrain is relatively favorable. It must also better communicate with the American people about the risks and opportunities of EADT and assure them that all efforts will be made to safeguard the nation. Under your leadership, our country has an unprecedented opportunity to capture the competitive edge. White House recognition and elevation of EADT is one of the most pressing national security issues confronting your administration. A SAR for EADT will highlight the Biden administration's failures while burnishing your national security credentials. The position will also allow you to get the answers you need when you need them. Many in Congress, as well as former colleagues of mine in the DoD, US military, and the IC, believe that your administration represents a once in a lifetime opportunity for major progress on EADT and stand ready to work with you. America can handle the truth. There's a tagline. And America deserves the truth. There's the tagline. Please do not hesitate to contact me if you have any questions or if I may assist you in any way. Thank you for your considerations. Respectfully yours, Luis D. Elizondo. Okay, so this was long. I know, I'm sorry, but it was necessary to read, I think, because we also need to understand the context of this letter, who is writing it, why they're writing it. I told you at the beginning of this video that there's already a lot of people within the UFO community who think that Lue Elizondo is part of the legacy program and others who were part of that film. And that's the reason they're seeking amnesty. And I think that's also the reason they're trying to get President Donald Trump's attention, because there are two different groups within the disclosure movement. There's a group that wants all of it out. They think that the people deserve to know the truth, and they don't care about the current institutions being damaged by getting the whole truth out, because many of them will be hurt. And there are the more controlled opposition of disclosure that doesn't want everything out, that they're going to keep a lot of things to themselves, but they still want for somebody to make an announcement that we're not alone. I don't know which is right or which is wrong. That's above my pay grade. Just telling you what I see. I do know that besides what Lue Elizondo delivered back in January, there is constant flow of information that goes to President Donald Trump's desk directly. A lot of it, it's data. It's not just information about people or programs or countries or whatever. It's data. And I still have no idea how good or bad for humanity a potential disclosure from President Trump would be. I know that there are many risks. I can see the potential risks. We have to keep reporting on it, regardless of what people think. So we still don't know how it's going to pan out. If you see any dogs here, they're with me. I'm babysitting, so sorry. On the other hand, that's not all that is happening right now. There's a lot of stuff happening. I'm just going to show you the clip of Ross and Lou talking about this so you guys can check it out and let me know what you think.
Okay, so this is where I get concerned, because if the president or people senior in his administration, we know they've received this memo, they haven't acted on it. Nothing's happened. The president,
we don't know that, do we?
The president's made no announcement on UAP.
We're presuming nothing's been done, but again, I want to be very careful. I hate to assume certain things. You know what assuming does, right? So I'll use the word presume. Just because the administration doesn't say anything doesn't mean that they're not taking it seriously. And I know people are very eager to try to get to the bottom of what's going on. But this is a problem we've been dealing with, quite frankly, for many, many, many decades, Ross. And it's going to take time. And we have, as a people, we have to have a little bit of patience with our government to try to figure this way out. Now, the problem here is, we can give people time to figure it out, but it only takes one 9/11 event, right, to turn the whole world upside down. And so time isn't really on our side. I think we have to have some patience and give the administration some time. But I don't think we have a whole lot of time. I think we really have to do a much better job of trying to figure out what's going on. And it's a tough nut to crack. It's a tough problem. I certainly wouldn't want to be the one in the administration tapped on the shoulders to figure this out. I mean, this requires a pretty big team, and you'd have to have help from all other 16 members of the intelligence community, the defense communities, and the civilian communities. I mean, this is a big problem.
Can I ask you this? Do you think the Trump administration, Donald Trump, is thinking about disclosure?
Well, I hear what you hear and everybody else, that he's contemplating it, that he's been told about it. But I also want to be realistic here. Yes, there's a tremendous opportunity here for our president to be the first sitting president to say, yes, this is real and this is a problem. But there's also a tremendous amount of risk, because if it turns out that there is some sort of foreign adversarial involvement behind this, there's some sort of new type of stealth reconnaissance capability, let's say that country X developed or something like that, and we go out on a limb and say that these things are all because of this, and it turns out they're actually because of that, then that's a risk as well, and that can actually be used to discredit you and to hurt your efforts. So the president, all presidents, have to be, and this is why they have so many advisors, they have to weigh the pros and cons of what they say publicly. Now, this particular president, I think most people can agree, whether you agree with his politics or not, he is not afraid to say what he feels. And so from that perspective, I think it's very refreshing. I think all presidents should say how they feel. The question is, what does he actually feel about this topic? Sometimes when he's been asked in the past, he has said, I personally don't believe it. I don't think there's much to see there. And other times he's turned around and said, actually, you know what? I've received some briefings. Pretty interesting. We should take it seriously. But again, that's a question you would need to ask to the president himself. I certainly would not want to be in any type of position to presume what our president, Donald Trump, knows about this topic.
I'll go a little bit into the danger zone, Lou, and I know you can't, but I'm told Donald Trump was given a limited briefing by a mutual friend of ours, who I won't name.
That's either Jay Stratton or Dr. Eric Davis, either one.
The president, I'm told, is aware of the US's knowledge of a non-human intelligence. Do you want to contradict me on that?
No comment. I like I said, I would never pretend to speak with the authority for the president of the United States. It's certainly a good question, but that's a question that I would probably table for later and maybe ask him directly if you have that opportunity.
So there you have it, folks. And I know it's tough because of these two positions that exist. I know that there's a lot of people that no longer trust Lue. I lost a lot of trust in Lue when he made those mistakes. I've known people within the community that have always believed that he does it on purpose. And as much as I know people that defend him to the very end. So I try to stay in the middle. I don't want to take any sides really, but I will call out when I see like intent or mistakes, like what happened with the photo that Lou showed. In this case, I think it's pretty clear. This happened back in January, and there was already conversation of this UFO Czar position. Lou started talking about it on News Nation as well, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And now we can see what all that was about. This is Lou trying to pitch himself, I guess, as the UFO Czar. I would propose somebody like David Grush. That would be a good option. I think Grush is just as aware of what's going on as Lou is. And the fact that over time, it kind of feels like David Grush has learned new information that is making him hesitate in many aspects of this. Corbell wouldn't have said anything if David Grush didn't think that Lou has to come clean about something, you know? And it's not just Lou, I don't think. I think it's a bunch of different people from that film. So I don't know where you guys stand on this. What do you think about this letter that Lou sent to President Trump? Do you think President Trump read it? And what do you think about the overall effort that is taking place right now? Where do you stand? Do you absolutely not want Trump to be the president? Can you tell us why? I know that there's a lot of division about this, but I do want to create a safe space for us to talk about it. So hopefully you can understand that and be respectful in the comments. But let me know what you think. If you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to like, share, hype, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, and it is what helps us the most. So thank you. But if you want to support us in other ways, there's a few links down there you can choose from. You can also become a member on YouTube. You can become a member on Patreon. I just opened up Patreon, and I'm trying to post as often as possible. It's a new platform. I'm getting used to it, but I have like 5 different levels. You can take your pick. There's different types of access to things, and let me know if you like it. Or you can also support us through KGRA. Anything you choose to do is always appreciated. So thank you. That's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Ross Coulthart, always. Bye.